Hello, hello, hello. It's been a little while. Welcome to our Wellness Wednesday. I'm Dr. Sherry-Ann McCoy, and I'm the owner of Redbird Natural Healing. And I have Carrie Martin Vegu with me, and she is my partner in crime and also a traditional naturopath. And instead of talking about one specific subject today, we're really just going to chit chat. That's what we were talking about. We always decide, like, okay, what are we going to talk about? So we have this new membership that we are starting here at Redbird, and so we want to chit chat about that and why. I'm super excited about it, and we're calling it the Signature Membership. So here at Redbird, we have a lot of different memberships. We have wellness memberships, and we have service memberships, and so that's really for the people that are able to come in here and local. But if you're watching this, as you know, we have clients in 15 different states. I actually counted the other day, 15 different states and 5 countries around the world. Isn't that awesome?
That's cool.
That doesn't even put 1% on the map. But the fact that we work with people that are not even in the United States, that's pretty cool. So the reason that we are starting this membership is because really at the core, Carrie and I both love to teach. I mean, we love doing everything that we do here at Redbird, but teaching is we both just love that. It's our jam. And so we want to provide a platform so that there are people that want to hear more about that. It's not a certification program. I'm not lining up a PowerPoint and telling you what it is and what it's not, and all that kind of stuff. This is 2 women that are passionate about natural health. We're very nerdy when it comes to that kind of thing, because most of the time, like before we even started hitting the record button, yesterday was her birthday, so give her some birthday love. And she told me about a book that her husband gave her for her birthday. And I love books. And normally I would say, oh, I can't wait to read that. But she knows that particular book is not my jam at all. It's about childbirth. When we have done our doctorate program, one of the classes we have to take is midwifery. And while I was taking the class, I would be texting Carrie and saying, this is one subject I don't like. So you don't ever have to worry about that. I mean, would I be at your birth? 110% I'd be at your birth every single time. Yeah. But I would be there praying for you, clearing the room. I would be your advocate, but I would not be up in your stuff. So and I'd kiss all over, and take pictures and all that kind of stuff. I probably wouldn't even take pictures. I'd just be there praying. That would be my job. That gets me more than anything else does in the birth stuff. But Carrie's is birth, and so that she got a book pertaining to that. So it was really exciting. So let's go back to the membership. So one of the things that I want to say about this is that I really want to create a community for healing. And so what does that mean? One of the things that has been really a big lesson that I feel like has been taught to me just in dealing with people over the last 10 years of being somehow engaged in natural health, but also with my relationship with the Lord, is that people always come and if you talk to them from a spiritual standpoint or an emotional standpoint or a physical standpoint, if you ask them, like, create the perfect picture for yourself, what is it that you want? They have lots of different words to describe it, but it always comes down to 2 things. And the 2 things is that they want peace in their life, whatever they describe that as peace, or however they define that. And then they want community. And here is my thought process on that. Scripture in it just went right out of my head where it is, but it says that we are knitted into our knitted into our mother's womb, right? And so, in that He knew us, God knew us before we were knitted into our mother's womb. So if He knew us, and one of the names for God is Prince of Peace, right? And so that means that when we knew God before we were ever knitted into our mother's womb, we knew perfect peace. And because we knew that perfect peace, we really knew community. And so, what my personal belief of this is, and from my, you know, my experiences with working and counseling with different people for various different things, is that when they're looking for peace and they're looking for community, it's because their soul longs for that, what they've already experienced. So we already know what it's like, and that's what we're doing here on this earth, is trying to find that peace, and we're trying to find that community. Now, am I going to tell you that this group is going to give it to you? No, because I mean, there's no way we could give you that kind of peace, and no way we can give you that kind of community, but we can create an atmosphere where you're in a safe place. And I hate at my age saying that, because people talk about safe places all the time. But really, when you have a goal of alternative health or holistic health, and you're wanting to help yourself and your family, there's not a lot of safe spaces for that anymore, to be able to talk and to ask questions. And most of the time, I think, Carrie, you probably feel this way too, that people will ask you a question, but the first thing that say before that question is, I'm going to ask you a question, and it may sound like a stupid question, right?
Yes. Yes.
And they ask us that. And we always say, no question is a stupid question. Because what that means to me is that they've been thinking about how the process of the body works. And they may be a little bit off, or they may have gotten something from some person online. I talked to somebody today that told me that they got a recipe online from some doctor, and they always expect us to know all those doctors too, which is funny to me. But she got this, recipe, and I said, "Oh, wow, tell me about that recipe." And I wrote it down. I said, "Oh, that sounds like a really cool thing." It was something that she put in the nebulizer, and it has really helped. So that was kind of a cool thing. So again, the membership is really going to be about creating that kind of healing space, so that we can ask questions, so that you can
share information, like those recipes.
Yeah, recipes that we could share individually, but we have tons of documents that we're uploading, and that's what we're doing right now, is uploading those. So I know that some people don't do Facebook, and so that might be a little bit of a challenge, because the documents are going to be on Facebook. We're going to record all of the videos, and the videos, I'm hoping, just to keep on YouTube, and then they'll be password protected. But basically on Friday mornings, just for like 15-20 minutes, I'll just, either me or Carrie will get on, and we'll just answer questions. It won't be an interactive. It'll be questions that we already have. And then we'll just kind of talk about that for 15 minutes. Wish you a wonderful weekend, whatever. Record it, and then we'll put it up so that you can see it. It is helpful if you're on watching, so that then you can kind of feed us questions if you haven't already done that. And then 2 times a month, we will be online on a Zoom that'll look, just like this. We want more of you to be involved if you're in that membership group. And then we'll come to you and talk to you about a specific topic. And so the first one, we're just going to get to know each other, after that, whatever the theme of the month, we may have a class for that. That'll be for you, that you won't have to pay for. It'll be more in depth for you than it will be for anybody else that's not in the membership, excuse me. And just, kind of going that way. I also hope to really put in some time of some inspiration, some spiritual aspect of things. And I want to make sure people know that too, that you don't have to believe what I believe to be in a spiritual way. Carrie and I align most of the time in that area. But in some things we disagree. And some of the reasons, I'll tell you that from my perspective, the reason that we disagree is for 2 reasons. Because we were brought up differently, right? We're brought up in a different generation. I'm old enough to be her mother. And which, gosh, the first time she told me that. Anyway, I digress. The first time she told me that, I was like, what? I am not. But now I'm like, oh yeah, I am. And so I just consider her my other daughter.
Yes.
And so that's part of it, right? And then the other part of it is just life experiences, that I've had more life experiences just because of my age, but it doesn't make me right. It just makes mine different. And she has different life experiences. And then the other thing is that books that she reads versus books that I read. So they're all going to be, different. So this is going to be a safe place where you can share that. It's really the spiritual aspect of it is to help you connect to your spiritual part of your life, because that's where a healing community comes in, is that it is, we say one thing doesn't cause one thing, because you're not one thing. So we're going to talk about the physical, we're going to talk about the emotional, and we're going to talk about the spiritual. So I've talked long enough. Carrie, what do you think? Tell us, your thoughts on this group.
Yeah, so kind of echoing a little bit of what Shireen said, that desire for community, just because I believe God has created each one of us to want to have that community and that support. And so that's really what we're hoping to accomplish and achieve through this group. And also, really, one of our biggest desires is to help our clients, and then the members of this group, to seek personal responsibility over their health, and to really come to an understanding of, while Sharon and I have education that probably most people in the group don't have, that doesn't mean that we're necessarily experts on your health. And so, your body, your family, what's going on, what makes you you. And we really just see this group. And honestly, when our clients come in office, a big part of that first appointment is asking so many questions to get to know that person. And then even follow up and subsequent appointments, like, hey, how are you doing? How's it going? What's changed? Those kinds of things. So that's still going to be an underlying theme of this group, is just answering your questions and helping each of the members to really come into their own and to realize that they are responsible for their health. Sharon and I are just honored and just such a privilege to walk alongside each of our clients and the people in this group. And, there'll be times when we might say, hey, you should go see a chiropractor for that, or hey, that's something for your primary care physician. Because really, we see this, we're just one part of what makes you and your family have a healthy life. And we're just excited to be that part, but also as Shireen said, like, we learn recipes and awesome things from our clients as well. So definitely some giving and taking, so that we can all be a part of a knowledgeable and supportive and healthy community.
Right. And also there will be some other practitioners in the group. I love to teach, and so I have mentored quite a few of those practitioners, which I love to do. And they may answer some questions, from time to time too, or may have some special guests. I mean, it'll really just depends on how the group grows, and what you see that you want more of, or how we see that, that it moves and goes, and that kind of thing. I think that is such an important thing, to really know how your body is. I have a pacemaker, and when I very first got my pacemaker, the doctor came in the next morning and asked me if I had any questions, and I said, "Yeah, when will my body get used to, like, or my head maybe get used to not knowing, like, my pacemaker will just go off and it doesn't make me go, oh, my pacemaker just came, flipped on or whatever." And he was like, "You can't feel that." I said, "I really can feel that." And he didn't believe me. I was still hooked up on all the monitors and everything. And I said, "I'm about to start pacing." And I wasn't looking at it. And he was explaining to me how I couldn't possibly feel this. And my pacemaker began working. And then it stopped. And I said, "Oh, and now it's just stopped." And so he's still telling me how he can't do it. And then I said, it's about to start pacing again. And after like the third time, he looked over at Steve and said, "She really is one in a million people." And, and so we all laughed about that. But over the years, sometimes that has really bugged me. I mean, there's times that I don't feel it, obviously, but whenever it goes and does it a lot, it really sometimes gets on my nerves. You know that, because I'll sit here and go, I need a minute because because I have ADD. But in 14 years, I have never met a doctor except for when we moved to Plano, and I had a new electrophysiologist, and I just very sheepishly said, "Have you had anybody that has been able to feel when their pacemaker goes off?" And he said, "Yes." And I said, "Oh, really?" And I said, "Who is that? Like, who is it that? What kind of people that do it?" And he said, "They're always women. They're always women that have had babies, and they're always women that have had babies, but they're also musical." And I said, "What, musical? Why is that?" And I have a music degree. That's my first degree is in music, and I've had babies. And I said, "Why is that?" And he said, "I'm not sure, except that I think they can feel the rhythm of their body
Hmm.
and they know when something changes." And I thought that was beautiful because that really describes how I feel about that particular thing is that it feels like something in my body changed. And so I think whenever you stop long enough, believe it or not, I really do that, is to stop long enough to just feel what you feel in your body, but then you begin to believe it, right? Instead of somebody telling you that you don't feel that, um, then you can get a handle on your health better because you can convince yourself that you're sick when you're not really sick. You can also convince yourself that you're really well when you're really sick and you need attention. But if you begin to really ground, know your body, know what's going on, knowing the idiosyncrasies of your body versus somebody else's body, that your body's doing something and you can know that's okay for my body to do that when everybody else wants to put a pill to that, but that's what my body does, you know. When you begin to look at that, you really get a handle on alternative and holistic health, right? Our really holistic health is because you're taking care of your whole body. And so that's the same thing with the spiritual aspect of it or the emotional aspect of it, especially when you have people that are very empathic. That can be a really hard one. So, so yeah, I'm really looking forward to, to that kind of thing. So let's talk about what the group is not. What do you think the group is not? The group is not a certification program. You're not going to get any kind of CEUs or any kind of certification of anything like that. We're not taking blood from you. You get in it, you decide, hey, I don't really like this group, it's not for me, then just let us know, we'll let you out. It's not a contract. If you decide you have to get out for a while and then come back in, then let us know. I mean, that's the other aspect of that. Can you think of other things that it's not?
Well, I mean, as always, we don't diagnose, treat, or prescribe. Definitely,
That's the most
um,
important part.
yeah, yes, definitely not. Yeah, definitely not. Won't be doing that, but we can definitely provide education so that you can be more informed. So if there is something, then like to go to your PCP about, then you can like know what questions to ask or what knowledge,
Yeah.
background knowledge you need for different issues.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you two things that a couple people asked me today. Um, so I do the SHAPE program, the SHAPE
Mhm.
Reclaim program. And so two people asked me today, is the members that are in here, are they all going to be SHAPE Reclaim members? And the answer is no, they're not all going to be members of our SHAPE program. Probably a vast majority of them will be, simply because they like the connection and they like being able to have that there. And whether they've gone through the SHAPE program already or they're currently in the SHAPE program, excuse me, it will help them to have that connection and hear somebody else's story, success story or not, and what they're struggling with and what they did to help them get farther along. It's really a health restoration program. A lot of people use it for weight release or weight loss. And so there will be a lot of people in the group that are part of the SHAPE program, but they're not all going to be SHAPE people. The second question was, do they have to see you first as a client before they can be in the program or the membership? And that's a no. They don't ever have to have come in here before. It's really, really, truly just for everybody, whether they're a practitioner or they're not a practitioner, if they're just kind of interested in natural health, that kind of thing. So, yeah, so they can come for any of that kind of thing. There was one other question. You said something and it triggered my head. now I can't remember what it was. I'll think about it, I guess, as we move forward. So anyway, I really very strongly, very strongly encouraging people to do this because of creating that community between people. That's so important. I think that in here you'll find friends. I think that you'll be surprised at how you'll find friends. I can promise you that you're going to laugh in this group because that is the number one thing I love to do. I love to laugh at stuff every day. Literally every morning I find things to laugh about. I promise you that you'll see me cry at some point because I always call myself the town crier. I cry very easily. I also promise that we'll be praying for you, and that it is a safe place. So that's really kind of the gist of it. If we were to put down how much this, like the time that we're giving into this, because we're giving 15 minutes every week, and then we're giving hourly time, and then we're also giving all these educational documents that we put together. It's really about $500 a month is the value of that. And so the normal price of it's $49, and we are doing it for Black Friday, and we're going to extend it to December 1st. That's like Saturday. If
Technically, Friday's December 1st.
Oh, is that right? I was thinking it was Saturday.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
Well,
Friday
let's extend it to December 2nd. So since you said that, so to the end of the week. So we'll put a link in the underneath here so that you can look it up, and so you can sign up for it. If you've got problems with it, just message me. You can invite anybody to it. Ask questions, so that we can answer those questions for you. And then, but our first 15 minutes will be on Friday. And so if you're not already in the group, then you won't get the link for that. So you won't get that first 15 minutes. The other people that have already signed up today, we've had quite a few that have done that already. So that's a good thing. I'm really looking forward to this. I love community and love really being a part of something. And I hope you will be too. Anything else to add, Carrie?
I think that covers it.
And also it's for all age groups, right? So
yeah, all age groups, all genders, men, women.
Yeah, men, women, yeah. Men and women, only two genders. So, and then all age groups. So, okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, we will let you go. That's really all that we've got for you for today for Wellness Wednesday. You will get much more of this, but much more in depth in the group. So let us know what questions you have, and let us know what else that you want to hear from that. And we'll be ready for you. Okay. So we'll talk to you later.
Awesome.
Bye.
Bye.